Hi there, you are tuned into Beauty and Braids, the podcast where I, Karyne, has conversations about all things relevant to personal growth and development. Just a heads up, I'm unfiltered. You're welcome.
DMX, My Dog's Bite. Alright, today I'm dedicating this episode to DMX, Dogman X, Earl Simmons. He was a living legend, and now he leaves behind a amazing legacy and big shoes, big Timberland boots, construction Timbs to fill. This took me by surprise because I thought, okay, he just came, he just did his verses with Snoop Dogg. Everybody was vibing. It brought back memories of all the songs that I grew up with, and I'm like, all the lyrics I remember. Like, I was like, yo, I can't believe I know the lyrics. Like, it was Keisha. I'm knowing names. Like, you know what I'm saying? It almost surprises you the amount of stuff that you retain when you recite his lyrics. And I mean, come on, like, DMX, what he stood for, a dog is a dog for life. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing how many people celebrated his life when he was around, when he was here, like his concert sold out. Like, for someone who's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have, like, he was unapologetically himself. And anybody can appreciate that. I've never met DMX. I would have loved to meet DMX, but I think through the type of person he was, his spirit, I could have sensed who he was. There was no doubt in my mind that he was a genuine good person, great soul. I mean, everybody makes mistakes and stumble, but to the core, he was good. He was authentic. He was real. He was generous. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about what a dog means is, man's best friend. When you dissect man, you think about humanity, right? You're not thinking about just like the man. You're thinking about humanity, like humanity's best friend. Someone who is a protector, is loyal, comforting, powerful, and can bite. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when needed though, like, that's who he was. And he like, yo, like, if you see me spit at you, I'm trying to get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? Right, we did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dog's gonna fight, my dog's gonna, and if you're gonna shut her down, cause we up and like, oh, now they like, no, that, but what did it? That's a rider's road. I'm just in the celebration of his life right now. Like, when you look back, you like, I think he said, I quote, he said, if he should die today, his last words would be that he lived a good life. And despite all of the heartache that he went through growing up, all of the addictions that he may have had, I mean, that was his journey. Everybody has a journey. Everybody has a path. Everybody has an antagonist in their life. If you know anybody's book, everybody's story, every story you read, the hero, the protagonist always has something that they have to overcome, something that is nagging at them, something that is trying to undermine them attack their character, that is what it's there for. Because every time that person finds something that is attacking them, they always overcome it. They always come back on top. And that was his story, always overcoming his trials and tribulations. I mean, he was, a believer. He was someone who tried and true. He was authentic with his scripture, with, what he believed in, his faith. He was, unshakable. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew, listen, this is my story. I'm not going to beat you over the head with how I feel, what I believe, or anything like that. He allowed people to be who they was. And that's why I resonate with him so much, because that's how I am. I'm not here to force anything down your throat. You either follow me or you don't. But I'm going to live my life the way I choose to live it. And if you want to know how I live it, then you would follow the way I do it. If you're not going to do it, don't waste my breath or time. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, time is everything. And as you know, it is not, it can be taken. Time goes on, as if you hear or not, it's still ticking. What are you doing with it? What impacts are you leaving? Because he served his purpose. He has touched many lives, all races, around the world. They know who DMX is. The X. Rough Riders. For the longest, I just thought DMX was Rough Riders. Like, period. I'm like, seriously. Like, I thought DMX was in charge of Rough Riders. I didn't realize it was someone else. You know what I'm saying? And, Eve, and it was just kind of like, I didn't understand, and I really didn't know the story. I didn't count him out. I just was like, he took a step back. I didn't realize that, things were not selling, or he had like tax evasion, all that extra stuff. It's like when you're trying to come out, of course there's going to be obstacles. There's some that's going to be feel like you're defeated, and it's going to put you in a dark place. And some people are in those dark places a little bit longer than others, and some are fortunate to come out of that dark place. And I believe he came out of that dark place. I believe him standing in the in the verses on stage, like allowing 2020 to use him, allowing him to be to catch up and breathe and minister to people, because I'm pretty sure he was still with his family, still laughing it up, still feeling the love around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you do. You're grateful for the people that surround you, because now they not really going to work, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, now they got more time to hang out with you. I'm pretty sure today he probably, everybody who was able to kind of connect with him over this last few months or years was able to get the most out of him, because we were able to sit down. We was able to kind of reset and not be distracted by all the other stuff, the unnecessary things and unimportant things in our lives, and be around people who are here for us, and start to really use our discernment on who needs to be around us and who should not, and what things that we should be a part of and what we shouldn't be a part of anymore. Like, so when I think about DMX, like, I think about standing up for what you believe in, not conforming to what society think you should do, like being you completely unapologetically. He was like, a dog is a, and he just did what he did. He smiled. He always ministered to people. Like, when he come in the room, people expect, they don't run from him. When he talks, people, I think, run more towards DMX than run away from him. Like, there's some people who like preach and stuff like that, and people just be like, nah, I don't want to hear none of that stuff, not today. Like, but I feel like people gravitated to his energy and what he had to speak on, or like, you know, his motivational part of him. Like, I think people appreciated it because when it comes from someone who's gone through so much like he has, and for them to have so much faith, like the faith of the book of Job, like losing everything and still keeping their faith alive. Now that's strength. That's strength to not be broken when everything around you is breaking. You know, the cause, everybody wants you to break, and you refuse to break, or you just don't. You're not breakable. You know, it's kind of like he went through something terrifying, horrible when he was young. He was prepared early on in life and was not broken to the point where he got up to his age, 50, so young, but 50. And every time you throw something at somebody who has been through so much when they're at a young age, there's nothing you can do. There's no more that you can do or say or try to break somebody who has already been broken. You know what I'm saying? And been able to piece themselves back together, because now they know how to. Now they know how to pick themselves up from a dark place or a hole or the floor or the ground. They did this from the bottom. They just know how to rebuild. They know how to use the time, the idle time, that downtime, to regroup, to sit down, to listen, to meditate, to hear the voice of the divine. When should I move? Now. Should I stay silent? You start to hear your inner voice clearer. And no, this doesn't, keep you exempt from life and how things are thrown at you. No. None of that is the weapons are going to be formed. Yeah, they might hit you. They might scratch you. But they're not going to penetrate. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Like, he died, but he's still living. That's the thing. It's like, his life will never be forgotten, and that's what keeps him living forever. Like, you will become he is immortal right now. Like, his messages, his music, what he stood for, what he believed in, who he was, it will always be remembered. It will always be celebrated. Right? We're not really mourning. We just sad he's not here anymore to give us more of him. It's selfish of us to feel that way. He was suffering. You know what I'm saying? We all suffering while we're still living, like he would say. And now he's at peace. But by the seat of the throne. His energy is able to be free. It is no longer trapped in a vessel, a limited vessel of flesh. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. He's able to move around freely, do what he wants, go where he wants to go now. And that's powerful within itself. A spirit free. Free from this world. Wow, D. I'm telling you, like, he was like everything. It was so crazy because one of my friends, he texted me and he's like, yo, like, he brought me the news. I'm like, yo, I heard. I'm like, wow, like, I can't, like, this is sad. And he was like, yeah, I know. And I was just like, yo, at the end of the, like, I was like, I don't know him, but I know he had a genuine soul. Like, he was a good person. And he was like, I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? We don't really agree on much, but we agreed about that. Like, yo, when you see a real one, you know it. You know it. People will try to discredit them, but when you see a real one, you know it. And then today, I had this long conversation with my homie. Like, she called, and I'm like, yo, we just really talked for hours today. Like, I don't think I've ever spoke to anybody as long as I spoke to my homie. And I'm like, yo, we talked about everything under the sun, right? A really good beneficial conversation, accountability, a check-in, a motivational, beneficial, that conversation was everything. Okay. But it initially started because of DMX, and it was just kind of like, yo, I am hurt. And it's funny because she, like, sometimes you don't realize how much of an impact you have in people's lives, and how much they are impact on your life until you really meet that person, right? And you're searching for who can I call, who can I turn to, who can help me process this, and I mean, it was an honor for that person to, like, call me, and be like, yo, I felt like calling you, I felt like I should talk to you. And I'm getting a lot of that. So, and we spoke about that too, like, sometimes you just allow spirit to use you in that way, to be that vessel for people. And of course, I'm not going to try to be like everybody's, like, like, I'm available for everybody. But, when a person needs you, and that person is genuine, that person is your dog, they're your dog for life, you're going to make yourself available. You're going to try to be like, okay, hold up, let's talk. Let me make sure you good. And that's what we did. And we just talked about his life, and it went from being sad to really, like, happy to have known such an amazing person in our lifetime. Like, to listen to him and grow up on that type of energy and that type of wisdom, to, what I'm saying, is a blessing. And it just really showed us, and it motivated us, like, we need to figure out and also live. No, somebody is no longer, they're not living, but we are still living. We are able to do so much with our lives. Let us live for them. People mean so much to us. They are no longer here. Let us live for them. Let us do the things that we said we was going to do. Let us make those marks that they would have wanted us to make. Let us honor them by honoring ourselves, because we all are connected. We are one body, one spirit, one mind, one soul, one source of energy. And the only thing that we can do, the one thing they all had in common, all these greats that we've lost, is unity, community, love. Making an impact, making a change. From DMX to Tupac to Biggie, Nipsey, Kobe Bryant, Prince, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Aaliyah, Left Eye. These are people who was trying to, Bob Marley, these are people that was trying to make a difference. Billie Holiday. The list goes on. The list goes on, and it's gonna keep going because we don't die, we multiply. We don't die, we multiply. And I don't care what people say, like he had an addiction and all this extra stuff. There's rumors going around about his death. At the end of the day, one thing that will never be taken away, he lived. He lived. He made a mark. He made it count. He picked himself up. He didn't ask for no hand-me-downs or hand-me-outs or handouts. Everything else is relevant. Who he is to who he was. He was a man of his word. He was a man. He was a dog for life. All the positive attributes of a dog. That's what he was. Despite how harsh the environment was to him. That's strength. That's testimony. That's a legacy. That's who he was. DMX X. Dogman X. Rough Riders. Rider to the dot. Like, this dude was everything. Nobody can say anything bad about it. I mean, like, if you look at everybody else, like, he's one person that most people, whoever's worked with him, has nothing bad to say. You know what I'm saying? You come in contact with a spirit like that, you got nothing bad to say. You still be like, oh, yo, this person is a good person. Like, of course you're gonna get a little haters and stuff like that, but their bark is not it's not big. It's like, like, you know what I'm saying, like a little chihuahua, like something like that, you know. But him, his light, his source was dim but bright. You're like, how can you be such a bright light in the midst of so much darkness? That's who DMX was. That's what I see. Like, people's like just seeing him, and I'm looking like I'm amazed at someone who is so the same heart, the same character, integrity, positive thinking, regardless of all the horrible things that people try to do to him or did to him, still uplifting others, knowing he needed lifting. That's, man, come on now, y'all better stop. Like, of course I had to speak on DMX because I grew up on DMX. I was a rapper. Like, y'all think I'm joking? Like, I was a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I looked up to DMX, to Eve. Best rapper, female rapper, hands down for me, is Eve. No, she wasn't rapping about no sex and all that shit. She was a lyricist. She spoke about real stuff. That's what I liked about her. She talked about pain. She talked about stuff that, like, you know, like she took a stand. She spoke about what she wanted to say, like, and she did it with class, and she did it with that roughness. Like, yo, I will beat you up, but I still am poetic. You know what I'm saying? Like, but neither here nor there. This ain't about Eve. This is about DMX and the lives he touched and the inspiration, or, you know, like, what he did around the people that he influenced. You know what I'm saying? Like, he influenced a lot of people in his area, in his work, his colleagues, his fellow musicians. Like, he inspired them. People look down on, you know, what he doing now because he's not all flashy and in the lights and stuff like that. That's not who he is. He don't need all that. He could have it if he wanted. That's the beauty of it. You can have it if you want it, but you don't want it. Man, you know, DMX, rest in power. You were an amazing soul. You was an amazing spirit over here on earth. You were definitely an earth angel. I'm so sorry that, you went through what you went through, but I know that was your journey to go through it. And your testimony, because you're an example for a lot of people that are going through those same things. It's horrible that certain people have to go through that at all. But I'm happy that they are able to look at you as the example of a light, a relatable light. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Everybody stay safe. Love your loved ones. Hug your loved ones. Love yourself. Hug yourself. Just know that you could be here today, gone tomorrow. But while you're here, make it work. Make it count. Love you.
Thank you again for listening to Beauty and Braids. I'm your girl Karyne, and this has been another great day. Until next time, you'll hear from me then. In the meantime, please follow me on @HairByKaryne, @ShopBraidAppeal, and @YTC Nonprofit. Get to know me a little bit better. Check them out. Bye.